What's up, traders? Ready for a new video? Great! In this video, we're going to show you an educational short-term market 5-second setup using two indicators, which gave favorable results in our analysis. So what are the settings of strategy, and what are the indicators we have used? Let's explain this in the video. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always trade responsibly and use demo accounts to test any strategy. First, come to this section and select your candle time frame of 5 seconds and your chart type as candles. Now change your trade expiry time to 5 seconds only. You can mark entries according to your practice risk management. Now come to the indicator section and select Bollinger Band Indicator and Fractal Indicator. Yes, these are the two indicators that we are going to use. Now come to the settings of Bollinger Band Indicator. To know the settings, watch the video till the end, and I will reveal the settings at the end. Now the very important part is to select some good return markets. I am selecting OTC markets because some standard markets may not offer fast time frames, like 5 seconds, so that's why I select OTC markets with a good percentage. Let me now show you how I marked setups and what factors I consider. Guys, I also have a free learning community on Telegram where I share chart breakdowns and market ideas for educational purposes only. If you want to learn more and discuss strategies with others, the link is in the description. So here I am explaining you for the up direction trade first. I marked a potential entry here for a 5 seconds of up direction, and the setup followed through nicely. Now what are the factors and what are the points I kept in my mind before marking this setup? I marked this setup because first thing is Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Band level must be pierced in the downward direction. Means the market should be crossing the Bollinger Band in the downward direction like it's piercing here. Second thing which you have to do is wait for the fractal indicator. And as soon the fractal indicator shows below the Bollinger Band level, then mark the entry for the upward direction. As you can see here, as soon the fractal indicator showed, I immediately took the entry. And the third, which is very important thing, is to make sure to check the price action. What is price action? Price action is basically how the market is moving and behaving with time. You can see this is a hammer candle, and hammer candle means trend reversal. Similarly, you have to wait for a green candle or a long down wick to take an upward direction trade after indicator confirmations. Like we did here, and the setup followed through as expected. Now it's time to explain you for the downward direction entry. I marked a setup here for 5 seconds and its setup followed through as expected. Now what are the points I followed for a down setup? First thing we have to see is market must be breaking the upper line of the Bollinger Band, like this candle is breaking upper line of the Bollinger Band. And then you can see as soon the fractal indicator showed above the Bollinger Band here, I suddenly took entry for the downward direction and it played out correct. So these two are the things which you have to follow. And the third thing, like I explained, which is a price action confirmation. This price action confirmation is so important, so don't miss it out. Here you can see this candle have a very long wick in the upward direction. So this indicates that there is pressure for the sellers in the market. And then as soon as I got the confirmation from both the indicators, I marked a setup for the downward direction. That's what the points I followed. Now I will take more setups and tell you more different situations which come in a market. These are some tips to consider. First, wait for Bollinger Band touch plus fractal confirmation, no early entries. Second, use during active sessions like London and New York. Third, watch for rejection candles, pin bars, or long wicks. Here we are taking live setups for the downward direction, and guys, the setup followed through as expected. Now the reason for this setup is, you can see as I explained, the above line of the Bollinger Band was broken here, and as soon the fractal indicator appeared, I marked an entry for the downward direction. And this is a very long wick in the upward direction. So there must be a long wick in the upwards direction, or the next candle must be red for a down setup. Now on the same market, I was getting a setup for the upward direction, and I grabbed this opportunity and took the entry here. But this setup didn't work out in this case, which highlights how short-term markets can be unpredictable. This is a 5-second candle time frame, and in 5 seconds there is very high market fluctuations, and some error candles are very obvious in this market. That's why it's important to always test in a demo environment before applying any strategy elsewhere. Now let's move forward to another situation and another setup. Here I am not taking martingale entries as per the money management. I marked an upward setup here, and the setup followed through as expected. The candle was red, but you can see here this is a gap up opening, which means market made the next candle after leaving some gap. So that's why our setup closed in positive. Now the reason for this entry is market broke the lower line of the Bollinger Band, which means first confirmation is very clear, second confirmation is fractal indicator, and as soon the market showed us fractal indicator below the Bollinger Band level, I took the entry as per the price action. You can see this is a spinning top candlestick, so that's why I marked this setup, and it played out as expected, even with the gap opening. I would recommend you guys to never follow martingale step in 5-second candle market because it's very volatile and it can lead to losses. So before taking trade, make sure to practice on demo first like we did. So here I am getting a setup for a down direction entry, and I chose this setup, and it played out positive. Now what are the points for this down setup? And don't worry, after this I will be explaining the indicator settings which are used in this video. So our first thing is market broke the upper line of Bollinger Band, so means our first thing is clear. Second thing is as soon the fractal indicator showed above the Bollinger Band, we marked the setup for the downward direction. And the third thing is confirmation of price action. This candle don't have any long high wick, but as I told you the next candle should be a red candle if we are taking a down trade. That's why I marked the setup, and it aligned with our setup conditions and followed through. These are some things that help avoid common mistakes. First, don't enter without a recent fractal confirming the bounce. Second, don't use in strong trending markets because this is for reversals, not breakouts. Third, don't trade around major economic news. Reversals may fail. Now come to the settings of Bollinger Band indicator and change its period to 20 and its deviation to 2. Now come to style and change the top line color as white and increase its size to 2 pixels. Change the bottom color as white and again increase the size to 2 pixels and make sure to increase the opacity and then save this. Now come to the fractal indicator and keep its period as 2 only. Come to style and keep the colors as default and then save this. So these are the settings which you have to use. If you found this method helpful for educational practice, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your questions in the comments. See you in the next one. Until then, manage your risk carefully and always do your own testing.